local Pathways ambassador to introduce him. So please welcome Marlene to the stage.
Yay!
Thank you, Christina. Now, you will know that for the past 18 months I've been up here on regular occasions telling you about Pathways that is coming. It started out as REP, the Revitalised Education Programme, then it got its full name. And I've been able to tell you along the way that it's the way that we do things is changing, that we are moving from 2 tracks, communication and leadership, into one, and they're being combined. And I gave you an overview on all of those occasions because we didn't have too much information at that time. It's filtered through more and more each time I've done it. But at last we're there. I kept saying it's coming, it's coming. Well, it's almost here. We go live on March the 20th, and I think that's almost guaranteed now, Chris, isn't it? Yeah. So here to tell you all the nitty-gritty and all the details is our Pathways guide for the club, Chris Bowden.
Thank you, Marlene. Thank you very much, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. Thank you to Tucci, Suran, for having me here at your club. I am your Pathways guide, which means it's my job to guide you through the rollout of Pathways, which, as Marlene has said, and I'm assuming most of you know, is a new education program that Toastmasters is introducing, which will take us all into the new millennium and beyond. Happy days. Are you excited about Pathways?
Yay!
Cool. Well, that's the best response I've had yet. Great job. I will tear through a couple of things to see if I can get us close to finishing on time. The history of the Toastmasters education program is long, and Marlene can fill you in at your leisure. Essentially, we're working on an education program that's the Competent Communicator Manual, the Competent Leader Manual, the Advanced Manuals, some of which we've seen tonight. This program was developed largely in the 1980s, so it's been running 30 years, give or take. There's previous iterations. There is basic training for Toastmasters. That was the first official manual that Ralph Smedley wrote. 2010, the Revitalised Education program was started being developed. The rollout has happened. The first rollout of Pathways was 1 year ago. That was in the US. We're now happening. Pathways is officially rolling out in our district as of the 20th of March. 12 days, get in. Right, that's the history. Does everyone know who Ralph Smedley is? Just
Yes.
yes.
No.
Dazzle me.
The creator of Toastmasters.
Yes. The creator. In which year?
1907.
Really close.
Yeah, I know.
Really close. 1924. So the idea of Pathways is to make an enjoyable and customizable education experience for all of us. The idea is it's more flexible, it's more tunable to what you want to get out of Toastmasters, and it's fun. I hope. Sarah mentioned death by PowerPoint, so just brace yourself, but it gets better after this one, trust me. It is tailored, more essentially everyone now does a Competent Communicator Manual, the Competent Leader Manual if you remember to bring it. And then after you've done 10 speeches, then you can start choosing your own advanced manuals and go down your own path. Pathways is much more customizable early on, and it's built around core competencies. Okay, it's video time. Logistics manager has assured me that these speak for you. He didn't assure me that they were turned on.
I'm just going to check. They are no.
He's like a logistics ninja. I am not. Where's my mouse gone? Little mouse. Okay, be dazzled for the next 1 minute and 45 seconds. Bob? No, that was me. It's not muted. No, I haven't muted. Sorry, Bob, the speakers aren't working. Oh, that I was going through the HTML. Yeah, I think they sourced the laptop. I think the HDMI is stealing the sound.
Ah, right, okay. In that case,
Ah. One more try.
Welcome to the Toastmasters Pathways learning experience, an exciting, flexible, and interactive way to develop your skills and help others in your club develop theirs. Building on Dr. Smedley's original vision and Toastmasters' core competencies, Pathways upholds the club experience while offering new, revitalized educational content that helps you learn communication and leadership skills that address real-world scenarios. Pathways expands on the current education and leadership tracks by offering more than 300 competencies across 59 projects. These projects are divided into 10 specialized learning paths that allow you to tailor your experience to fit your needs and your pace. All of this content is available online, allowing you to learn anytime, anywhere, from your computer, laptop, or tablet through Basecamp. Basecamp is the place where you'll find all of the materials for your learning experience, along with tools for your journey. In Basecamp, you'll be able to share feedback with fellow club members, view badges you've earned, access and save digital speech evaluations, and more. When you first begin Pathways, you'll take an online assessment that will recommend the path that's right for you. You'll be able to access your path from your education transcript in Basecamp, where you can view and complete projects. New elective projects, such as write a compelling blog and manage projects successfully, allow you to tailor your learning to meet your interests. Projects in Basecamp include a variety of interactive elements, including questionnaires, quizzes, menus, and expandable content. Educational videos model skills and provide demonstrations of the concepts you are learning. For example, Prepare for an Interview shows effective and ineffective interview techniques. Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring demonstrates the difference between coaching and mentoring. And Manage Online Meetings provides the best practices and strategies for holding a webinar or another type of online meeting. As you can see, Pathways represents an exciting paradigm shift that brings with it many new learning opportunities. What's more, Pathways will feel familiar to you because it maintains the things you love about Toastmasters, including your club experience. Pathways is coming to your club soon. Visit toastmasters.org/pathways to learn more.
A couple of new concepts in there, lots of online content, interactive manuals, video tutorials, Basecamp. So Basecamp is something anyone on Pathways will all become familiar with. It's the portal through which it's a learning management system through which we'll access Pathways. Any questions, just holler out and I'll do my best to answer, otherwise we'll wrap them up later on. That tells us the rollout schedule is going ahead. 20th of March, it's all on track. 12 days, you'll get full access to Pathways. Competencies. Pathways as an education program is built around 5 core competencies, which are, I think, relatively familiar. Public speaking, that's probably why a lot of us are here. Interpersonal comms, strategic leadership, management, confidence. What is Pathways? At the moment, there are 2 paths in Toastmasters. There is a path which starts with the Competent Communicator Manual and goes on to Advanced Speaking Manuals, and there is a path that starts with the Competent Leader Manual and goes on to the Advanced Leadership Projects. In Pathways, there are 10 paths. They combine communications and leadership. These are the 10 paths. Dun, dun, dun. The numbers next to the paths are the competencies that that particular path emphasises. If you look closely, you will see that every path has a number 1. So every path is still built around public speaking. It's still what we do. Every path has a number 5, so it's all about developing confidence, not like teaching it. We develop confidence by getting good at things. The others are emphasised to a greater or lesser extent depending on path. Perhaps you're purely interested in public speaking. Presentation mastery, there you go, it's all about talking. Maybe you're more into coaching, for example, teaching people, effective coaching. Leadership, emphasis, persuasive influence. You want to be a leader and an influencer of people. So, looking at what do you want to get, there's a path which can take you down that. It's in a nutshell. Within each path, each of the 10 paths is made up of 5 levels. And this is how we progress. Where before you would finish a manual, under pathways you will finish a level. And there are 5 levels under each path. As you go up, they become a bit more expansive. So level 1 of every path is the same. Mastering the fundamentals, you do an icebreaker, just as we do with the Competent Communicator Manual. And we learn about evaluation and feedback. As it goes up, we start getting into things like elective projects. So within a path, every level is made up of a series of projects. A project may be a speech, it may be a piece of research followed by a speech, it might be a group activity that you lead, and as you go up in the levels, these become larger and more complex. For example, this is the presentation mastery path. Mastering the fundamentals at level 1, as with every path, icebreaker, evaluation, research. Level 2. Effective body language, should sound familiar, Project 5 from the CC manual. A bit about understanding of communication style and mentoring. Every level 2 has introduction to mentoring. Level 3 is more about electives. Elective. What's an elective, I hear you ask? Text is a little bit small on this one. I'll grant you, but there you go, I'll throw this slide in. These are all the electives you can choose from. Some will be familiar, some less so. Storytelling, doesn't love a good story. Where'd it go? Effective visual aids. You've seen that tonight. Number 8 speech. A few different things. Making connections through networking. Prepare for an interview, which is in the video. Building social media presence, podcasting, blogging. Pathways is looking at modern communication styles. There are things in there on running online meetings, webinars, etc. So it's bringing communications up to what we're doing now, personally and professionally. There are in total 59 projects which are scattered amongst the 10 paths. You are not limited to, level 3 says you can do 2 electives. You will have access to do every single elective if you want. You can spend the rest of your path on level 3 just picking through all the electives, if you so choose. Any non-English speakers in? Hang on. Pathways is currently in those languages. After the final rollout, which will be in the middle of this year, they'll start developing more languages. There is a accessibility for visually impaired people, and there's further developments on that. Badges. So, as a Toastmaster, the first award any of us get is the Competent Communicator. When you do your number 10 speech, that's the first award you can get in Toastmasters. Under Pathways, you get more awards more often, earlier. So once you've done level 1, which is approximately 4 speeches, and evaluation, you will get a level 1 badge. Great job. Same, level 2, 3, 4, 5. Level 5, you get your path. Bang up job. You can also give each other badges. So the video mentioned you can give each other feedback through the meeting. Obviously use the slips as you do now, as we all do now. Or you can go into Basecamp, send someone a virtual slip, or you can award them a badge for things like creativity, courage, inspiration, etc. So a little way to share things around the club. Once you've completed a level, your VPE will approve the level completion, just as they do now with approving a manual completion. They will get the chance to print off a nifty certificate, so we won't be mailed certificates from World Headquarters anymore, but your VPE can print it out and award it to the club, or you can just keep it virtually. Any questions? Yes.
Is there an app so that you can do evaluation during the session?
There's not an app, but you can do evaluations during the session. So there's not currently a Pathways app. It works on PC, Mac, and tablets. It will work on a mobile phone, but it's not optimized for it, so it's really, the screen's too small for it to be used. The Pathways evaluation guides, that's the evaluation guide for the Icebreaker, quite similar to the evaluation guide in the manuals now. In fact, let's talk about evaluation. Evaluations are done in kind of the same way they're done now. Person gives a speech, they get a verbal evaluation. The evaluation will have available to them a guide. So this is one I've printed off. These are PDFs, they're editable PDFs. So you may then choose. It's down to the individual, the club, and the speaker and evaluator to figure out. You can hand them a printout, or the evaluator can print themselves out, the guide that they've downloaded, write it up by hand it back to you, say great job, well done, can't wait to see you next week. Or they may, during the meeting, after the meeting, write up in the editable PDF, type up the evaluation, email that to you. You can go either way with that, so whatever works for you. You may also optionally, importantly it's optional, everyone will have a storage area within Basecamp, the new Pathways home, where you can upload evaluations, either a scan of a handwritten one or the edited PDF. You can upload that in there and that is yours and no one else can access that. So you can keep all your speeches as long as Toastmasters exists. You don't have to do that, but the option is there. Fundamentally, evaluations are done exactly the same as they are now. There is a little more guidance. So this is an evaluation form, just like 1 or 2 pages in the manual which guide the evaluator now. They're more standardised. So they while they're different for each project, they've also used a lot of the 1 to 5 scoring system is now in pretty much all the evaluation sheets, as well as guidance on what 1 to 5 actually means. If anyone wants to, I've given too many of these away, I'm down to my last one, but feel free to flip that around. That's the Icebreaker evaluation. And most of the evaluations are fundamentally similar to this. So it's a bit more of a standardised way to give written feedback, and there's also still space for free comment. Any questions on evaluation? Because it's my favourite part of Toastmasters. Probably the most useful bit, really. All good? Mentoring. Do you do mentoring? Good. Awesome. We love mentoring. Pathways has a mentoring program built in. There is mentor document at level 2. Everyone will do introduction to mentoring. Then there is a mentoring project depending on the path that you're doing. For level 3, 4, 5. You can go all the way up to becoming a Toastmasters Pathways Advanced Mentor. And I encourage the club in particular to really push at least 1 or 2 people to do that. Because of course there is a mentoring badge. It's very important. But it is quite a structured mentoring program, and it will complement whatever the club's doing. It won't supersede it. It will complement the club and basically give a more structured guidance for mentoring. The mentoring program almost sits alongside the paths. It's virtually its own path within Pathways. So you can take that as much or as little as you want. In 12 days, and has everybody received an email from World Headquarters in the last couple of days? I'm seeing nods, shakes, nods, mixed bag. Okay, this is a good test. If you have not received an email from Toastmasters World Headquarters, you may be registered with an email address you're not using anymore. Check your spam folder and all other places that emails sometimes disappear into. Because it's an email saying, hey, Pathways is coming. Go hunt for it. Put your search engines. Type Pathways into your search bar. In 12 days, 12, yeah, good maths is my strong point, engineer. You'll have the opportunity to log into Basecamp. So it's done not through EasySpeak, but through the Toastmasters.org webpage. Have we all logged on to Toastmasters.org?
Yes.
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 No. Yeah. I don't know means no. Do please go to Toastmasters.org. You will have a login if you're a member of Toastmasters. It will have been set up. You can do a password reset if you don't know what it is, with whichever email you gave the club when you set yourself up. That's important because that will be your doorway into Basecamp. It's now through the Toastmasters International homepage. You'll get a chance to choose your path. There is a quiz. Handy, there's 10. Where do I start? Which one do I do? Don't know. There's an assessment quiz. Do that. Answer some questions. What do you want to get out of Toastmasters? Maybe if you're like me and you've been here a while, it's a question you haven't asked yourself for a little while. Good chance to go back and reassess. What are your goals? Where are you now? What are you comfortable with? What's your ability? Where do you want it to be? Go through the questions and it will spit out a recommendation. Dynamic leadership. Touche. Made to be a dynamic leader. Go for it. Second best. Other two that you might want to consider. This is purely a recommendation, not compulsory, won't lock you anything. It's just saying, based on your answers to the quiz, we recommend this is your most suitable path. But you may choose any of the 10 at your leisure, and there will be some background information you can read into all of them. Now, there's a lot of talk about online. Maybe you're sitting there saying that I want my manuals. Okay. First of all, everything can be printed out. Yes, there are. So, Toastmasters have not completely done away with manuals. You may still, if you choose, have an entirely paper-based Pathways experience. It's limited to 5 of the 10 paths, so not all 10 paths are available as print. Everyone who is a member of Toastmasters today gets 1 full path for free, or included with our membership. If you're a member of more than one club, anyone multiple club member other than mine? Good. You will receive 2 paths. If you're a member of 3 clubs, or 4 or 5, you'll still get 2 paths. You get 2 paths. Once you've completed a path, any subsequent paths will cost you $20 US. And I think we did the maths at one of the presentation once. It's cheaper than buying the equivalent number of manuals and getting them mailed out here. If you choose to go for the print version, you'll still get 1 path for free, but you will have to pay an additional $25 US, and that will cover you for 1 full path mailed out to you for the duration of your path level 1 to 5. And that will carry on for any future ones you do. The big push is obviously to go online, and the take-up of the print manuals has been fairly low. So you don't need to have a super high-speed internet connection and be constantly hooked up. You can download everything and read it offline, use it on various devices. There are a lot of ways that people have found, even with fairly intermittent internet access, to still have very good Pathways experience. But the option is there. Pathways is all about options. You'll have your login point. If you're a member of multiple club, select which club you're going to log into. You set your home club, and you can do that as often as you like. There's a few little nuances I probably don't have time to go into, but I can send some more information for multiple club members. And we will now also have access to the Navigator. Tuesday has a hard copy, which I'm sure you can peruse at your leisure, but it's downloadable or navigatable as a nice interactive document, and this is the new manual. So any questions you have, the Navigator can probably point you in the right direction. I can't remember how many pages, 20, 30, 40 odd pages. It is the instruction manual, the overview of pathways. It has a summary of all the paths. It has bits of how to do an evaluation in a basic sense, and tips on vocal variety and how to prepare a speech. It's all the bits of the manual that we used to get at the start of Toastmasters are now all locked up there, and it is accessed through Basecamp. It's a neat little document. That's really the big thing. Toastmasters meetings, as you know them now, consist of welcome everybody, how are you doing? When do you do table topics? There you go. Prepared speeches, evaluations, table topics, timers, grammarians, none of that changes, pathways changes, none of that. And that's important. They've created the education system to slot in exactly with the meetings that we all have, that we know, that we like, and that work. Make sense? There you go. I think you've all got this handout. It's a nice summary that says how awesome Pathways is. Essentially, we're not losing anything from the current experience. We are hopefully gaining a lot more varied experience and a wider, broader educational program. I'll tear through the DCP. Essentially, who knows what the Distinguished Club program is? That's not bad, actually. So the points that the club gets for educational awards, people doing CCs, CLs, advanced manuals, that will all carry on for a little while. Under Pathways, it's all about levels. So the club will get points based on levels. So people doing level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As that, I've got a neat little summary of this for your committee. You may be asking yourself, Chris, I'm about to get an award, what happens now? There's $1 million question. CCs, CLs, we've got people doing advanced manuals here. The existing program will exist for another 2 years, 2 months and 12, just over 2 years. Never do that with calendars. Toastmasters will accept awards under the existing program for any level of awards, so from CC right up to Distinguished Toastmaster until the end of the Toastmasters year 2019-20. So basically up until the 1st of July 2020. If you wish to get your DTM, if you wish to get your CC, your Advanced Leader Silver, your Advanced Communicator Gold, or whatever, you have 2 years. The clock is ticking now. Maybe it's just a kick that some of us need. Some of us have been dragging our feet for a long time. 10 years, I'm not even going to say. Okay. Questions about the existing program? What can I say? You can still buy manuals. All the existing manuals will still be in the Toastmasters store. It is entirely your choice whether you carry on the existing program or whether you start Pathways. And you can do both. If you choose, you can do both. You can pick and choose from your existing manuals and tear into Pathways. I say, just start Pathways, have a good look at it. Maybe you'll just say, I'm bored with all these competent things, I'm going to be a Pathways person. But the choice is yours. 2 years. Yes?
So, Chris, when people are doing their advanced manuals, can they join Pathways en route to a DTM or not? They've got to stay with the...
No, it's either or. So you either do the DTM entirely on the existing program or entirely on pathways. The two programs do not cross over, and I should say everybody starts pathways from level 0. Yeah, sorry about that. Nothing you've done on the old program carries into pathways. There are not direct analogues between the two. As much as they dovetail into the meeting, they don't copy from one to the other. So we all start level 1, first path. And to give you an idea, under pathways, to get your DTM, you need to do 2 paths. So you consider one path as half a DTM. That should give you an idea of how big a path is. Plus another committee and all the same district leader things you need to do. Make sense? Josh?
So, the paths
Yes.
are made up of levels,
Yes.
and how many speeches is there in a level?
It varies.
Okay.
Level 1, there are 4 speeches and I think 1 evaluation. Level 2, I think is 3 speeches. Very little bit, I haven't seen all the level 2s. But level 2 you'll have done 7-ish. I haven't got access to pathways any more than anyone else does, but I do have access into a ton of information. You may go onto the toastmasters.org website now, and off the homepage, click on the Pathways links and you can download the Icebreaker project. You can do the Pathways Icebreaker at the next meeting. Yeah, so it's there for everyone. It's a really nice project. It guides you through the creating your first speech much more.
Once the 12 days are up, if someone locally in this area goes onto the site,
Yep.
will they be presented with pathways information?
Yes. I don't know what's going to happen to the homepage. Any new member that joins Toastmasters after the 20th will automatically go on the pathways. So if the new members are on pathways, they won't have the old program available.
What does your new members between now and the 20th? Because we don't want manuals to automatically be sent out at this late stage in split ways.
Yes, in a little awkward phase. On the other hand, the CC manual is a nice little reference to have, so call it an added membership bonus. I wouldn't discourage someone from joining.
Oh, I wasn't thinking about discouraging them, I was just thinking about not being difficult to them online.
You just pay their membership from the X amount of fee.
So they get their 2 manuals as per.
Yeah, if you joined,
But they get a path as well.
if you joined today, you would get the standard startup welcome pack with the 2 manuals, and then in a fortnight you'll go on the pathways and everybody else.
And if you joined in 2 weeks' time,
Straight on the pathways.
isn't there still a joining fee?
Yeah, same joining fee. Joining fee is the same. Membership fee and joining fee is identical to what they are now. No
Oh,
change.
okay.
Questions? There will probably be many. Probably best routed through the VPE, who will be the point of contact, because Tuche will become the Basecamp manager, and we'll have a level of access in the Basecamp.
No pressure.
That role is shared or mirrored between the VPE, the president, and the secretary. So, for a while in particular, the committee is going to need to be a little bit more hands-on. Congratulations. And your incoming committee members, particularly for the new year, might need a little bit of extra support. The role of Basecamp manager, some people have got the idea it's huge and scary. It's not actually that much more work. It's just sort of juggling programs a little bit more. You don't need to approve every project. You only tick off level completions, the same as you would now, submitting a manual.
I have a question. In the transition process,
Yep.
how are we gonna get DCP points? Can we get DCP points from all systems?
You can get it from both. Yep. So of that list, the 6 DCP points for educationals, you can get them off either the old or the new. You can get 3 off each, 5, 1, whatever. Yeah. So it might actually be easier.
Yeah.
Or you can just struggle to get to high level GCP points in the first phase.
Yeah, it will.
Flooded with